everyone. Today I'll be sharing with you my birth experience and my story, kind of what happened with that. How the last month has been with my baby and everything. And I'm recording in my house right now, which I really didn't want to do. I wanted to be at the park, but I left my son's stroller in the car that my mom took to work. So here I am. So there'll be dogs and the baby, and so sorry about that. But anyways, let's get started. So this is my cutie, Liam St. Louis, and he was born October 22nd at 10:41 at night. And let's just jump right into my story. So I lost my mucus plug the 22nd, and I didn't really think anything of it. And I woke up at 3 in the morning with really sharp pains, and I was just like, what's going on? Is this contractions or what's? I didn't really know because I've never had a baby before. So I woke up and I was in pain for about 3 hours, and I was like, yes, this has to be a contraction. I'm in so much pain. I can't stand this. So I ended up waking up my mom, and I'm like, let's go to the hospital. Let's go to the hospital. I know. Actually, I didn't say I think. I was like, I know I'm in labor. So my mom got up and she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? So she's like, can I get in the shower? And I looked at her. I was like, no, I don't have time for you to get in the shower. I need to go now. Like, I was in so much pain. So my mom ended up doing her makeup, and we left an hour later. And at that point, I was just really upset. I was like, just get me to the hospital, come on. So I walk in the hospital to the emergency room, and they said, what are we seeing you for today? And I said, I think I'm in labor. So what's your scale on 1 to 10? I said, I am a 10. I'm ready to go. So they put me on this little chair and wheeled me up to an elevator and sent me to the floor or whatever. And they put you in this room before they actually admit you. And they kind of check your contractions there and stuff. And it's a really tiny room. Like, only the bed fits in there. And so I'm in this room or whatever, and they put this thing across my belly. It takes your contraction or looks at them or something like that. I don't know. It records them. And I'm sitting there, and I'm in so much pain, and she checks to see how dilated I am, and I'm only at 1 centimeter. But that was progress, because the last time I went to the doctors, I wasn't even dilated at all. So she checked me, and then they called my OBGYN, and they said, oh, we'd like you to walk. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And at that point, I was very nauseous, and I was shaking. Just, that was the way my body was responding to labor. So I was like, yes, I just want to get out of this bed. I'm sick of sitting here in pain. So I get up, and I walk around the hall, and I get a really bad contraction. I was like, my sister was holding my hand. I said, I think I'm going to throw up. And all of a sudden, I felt water gush down my leg, and my water had broke in their hallway. Sorry, those are my dogs. And I said, oh my goodness, what was that? And a nurse was coming around the corner, who ended up being one of my nurses. She goes, oh, looks like your water broke. So they took me back to that little room, and they have to swab you to see if it's actually your water breaking or if it's just other fluid. I don't know. But they swabbed the water, and it was my water. My water broke. So she said, oh, we're going to admit you. So they put me in this room, and I start having more contractions, and my water just breaks more and more. And I said, can you check how dilated I am? So she checks, and I'm at a 4. And I think it was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. And I asked my nurse, hey, can I get an epidural? Like, I'm in pain, I'm uncomfortable. Is this something I could do? So she said, yeah, we'll send the person right in. And I had been throwing up really bad. So they gave me some medicine. I'm not quite sure the name. But she gave it to me, and I was extremely tired. I had been up all night. So the man came in to do my epidural, and I'm sitting on the bed, falling asleep, falling forward, and my sister's holding me saying, Caitlin, wake up. You're going to mess up your epidural. And I just didn't care at that point. I was just so tired. It took him 3 times to actually get my epidural to work. The first time, he missed my vein. Second time, it wasn't near my spine. And then the third time, I guess it ended up working, which it did for just a little bit. So he gave me that epidural, and I remember you test it or whatever. And it honestly didn't hurt that bad for me. Like, I was just so tired. I didn't even care. The contractions were worse than the epidural, so I was just over it at that point. And everyone left the room, and I finally got to sleep. So I slept for a really long time. They came back in, they checked me. Ooh, you're an 8, almost a 9. And I didn't feel anything. My epidural worked really, really well. So then they decided to take me off my epidural a little bit, because I guess my contractions or something were slowing down and they weren't progressing like they should have been. So they slowed down the epidural, and I could kind of feel my legs again, but nothing that crazy or whatever. They checked me again, and I'm at 9 centimeters, so they call my OBGYN in, and he checks, and he's like, yeah, you're at 9, almost 10. And they stretch something. I don't know. He sweeps his hand in there and stretches it. And I remember just blood everywhere. It's really disgusting. But they're like, we're going to get you ready to push here in about 30 minutes. So I was like, okay. And then they come check me again. I'm at 10. I think we're going to start getting ready for you to push. So they set up the room and everything. And I'm just really freaked out. It happened so fast. I was like, what? I thought this was going to be way longer. So they get everything set up, and I'm sitting there, and my epidural starts to wear off, and I did not want to feel anything. I wanted the epidural to be active while I was giving birth, but it happened to wear off right before I started pushing. So I ended up pushing for about an hour, and I was pushing, and the doctor said, come on, you can do it. And I was like, no, I can't do this, and finally, I just did one big old push, and he came out, and they set him on my chest, and he was sitting there crying and looking at me. Actually, he wasn't even crying. I don't know why I said he was crying. He was really, really quiet, which scared me, but he was a really good baby when he came out. So basically, in a nutshell, that's how my birth went. Everything was really good. Liam was a really good baby in the hospital. Let's share my experience about motherhood and stuff. I'm a single mom. I'm doing everything alone. My mom works, my stepdad works, and my sister goes to school, so I kind of just here at the house by myself. And the first couple of nights were really rough with baby. I've had nieces and nephews and stuff, and I've babysitted, and I'm like, I've got this, I can do this, this will be easy. It's a lot different babysitting than having your own kid. The first couple of nights, I remember he cried and I just cried, and we were both crying, and just, I didn't know what he wanted. He didn't even know what he wanted, and we're just trying to figure each other out and stuff, and it was really, really tough. And I was also breastfeeding, and they feed often every 30 minutes sometimes, and it just gets really exhausting. You have no sleep, and I already had stitches from the hospital, and I'm trying to recover from that, and it just gets really, really hard. Then everything started to kind of get better around 2 weeks. I felt like I was getting kind of a schedule down, and the sleep wasn't as bad. I was kind of getting used to having no sleep. And all of a sudden I got really sick, which I had to be in the hospital for. One day I was having this really bad abdomen pain, and I just couldn't handle it. I was crying laying on the bed. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I was looking at these symptoms, and it all said appendicitis, so I figured, I have appendicitis. So I was holding Liam, feeding him, and I was laying on the bed. I couldn't even move. I was laying on my side, and I was trying to feed him and change him like that until someone could get me home to take me to the hospital and watch him. So my stepdad gets home, and he goes, what's wrong with you? And I said, I think I have appendicitis. This pain is nothing I've ever felt before. So he picked up the baby, and he put him in the car seat, and he said, okay, let's go. We need to take you to the hospital if it's really this serious. So he got the baby or whatever, and then I had to get myself off the bed, which I could barely do. I had to roll over, and it just hurt really, really bad. And it took me about 15 minutes to get some pants on and I think I wore boots or something that day. And it took me forever to get in the car, and he has kind of a high truck, so it was really hard to get in there too. And he drops me off at the hospital because everyone else has work, and he has to watch the baby, and I don't want the baby there at the hospital. It's gross and stuff. So I go into the emergency room, and I say, I think I have appendicitis. I'm having really bad pains. And I was also noticed I kind of felt like I had was getting the flu. I just felt yucky, and she takes my vitals and she goes, oh my goodness, you have 103 temperature. Something's going on. So they put me back in this room, and my sister works at the hospital, so she knows these rooms, and it was the less serious room, and it's where they take cases where they think nothing much of it, and that's nice to know because I had to end up having surgery, you know. So I go into my hospital and pee in a cup and all that good stuff, and they lose my pee, and I'm in pain, and the nurse didn't even ask me, hey, do you want some pain medicine, or how are you doing? And I was so nauseous. I was just coughing, like dry heaving kind of, and she never asked me, hey, would you like some nausea medicine or anything? So finally, they're like, we're going to do a CAT scan to see what's going on. And they sent me in this room with a few other people in a blue chair, and I'm sitting there crying and bawling my eyes out. And I just really wish my mom could have been there with me. And I asked for a bedpan, and they had me this tiny, like, it looks like a little jelly bean, the tiniest thing ever, and I throw up in it, and it's completely full. I'm like, can I get, like, one of the big ones? Like, I'm obviously really, really sick. And the guy's like, yeah, hold on. And they just really didn't seem interested in taking care of me. I did have to mention the fact that I just had a baby because other things could be going on. So they did the CAT scan and they said, oh, you don't have appendicitis. Everything looks fine. So we're going to call your OBGYN and see what's going on. And they call my OBGYN, and then my doctor looks at the CAT scan and he goes, you have appendicitis and you have fluid on your uterus and in your pelvis and all this crazy stuff going on. So he ended up admitting me to the hospital, and he was really upset. He's like, how could they miss this? How could they jack it up? So they sent me to the pediatrics floor, which usually is for babies, but they do have women up there, you know, because I did have problems with my afterbirth, so it's same thing. And it was actually really good care, and I'm glad I was put up there. So they sent me up there, and I'm in this room, and I'm just thinking, you know, I'm going to get antibiotics and feel better and stuff. But no, they come in my room, and he tells me a surgeon's going to come talk to me. So a surgeon ends up coming and talking to me. And he says, hey, your appendix, we think this is what's going on. And you also have this fluid in there, which we're going to have to remove. So I said, okay, you know, let's just do it or whatever. And my sister ended up having the baby by then. And he said the surgeon should be here any minute, and he ends up coming in, and he tells me, yeah, you need surgery or whatever. So he goes, we're going to sign this paper, and I said, how long will it be until I get the surgery or whatever? He goes, 45 minutes, and I'm in this room by myself, I'm crying, I'm alone, I'm in pain, it's really, really scary, and I call my sister, I said, I'm going to surgery like 45 minutes. So she brings my son over to me. She rushes there just in time as they were taking me downstairs. And she knows people there. So she went in to the room before surgery, like the pre-room or whatever. They ask you questions and give you the cocktail and all that stuff. And I'm holding Liam and I'm patting him and just enjoying my few minutes I have with him, because you never know what could happen during the surgery. I was really scared, and finally my mom got off work and rushed over there, and everyone was there with me for a little bit. They end up giving me the cocktail, which is supposed to knock you out so you don't remember, like, them wheeling you to the back room. So I hand over Liam, take out my piercings and stuff, and they give me the cocktail, and they drive me to the back, and I'm still wide awake, like I know everything that's going on, I can see everything, and they get me to the operating room, and by then you're supposed to be kind of loopy and not know what's going on, and I was wide awake. I could get to the table fine where they wanted me to be, and they said, are you feeling it yet? And I said, no, I don't feel anything. And my IV was like right here, so I ended up looking down, and I'm like, what's wet on me? And it was where, I guess the IV wasn't in there correctly, and it just dripped all down my arm. So they put me to sleep. I don't know how they did that, if they re-entered it, but I fell asleep, and I woke up with a new IV, which was on this arm, and it felt a lot better. But anyways, I woke up, and I'm in my room, and I'm alone, and I'm like, what the heck, where's my family? And I like don't remember after the surgery. I was completely knocked out for 4 hours, and I just didn't wake up, and my nurse had told me, your family was here, and you know. I woke up, and then the surgeon came in, and he's, can I look at your stomach? And I said, yeah, and he showed me my stomach. And then my OBGYN came in, and he told me, about the fluid, and I guess there was infected fluid in there and pus and all kinds, and they don't even know how it got there. They believe it's from me giving birth to Liam, but they have not a for sure answer of why it was there. So finally they said, okay, we're gonna start getting you recovered so you can go home. And this had been like the 3rd day I was there, and I said, okay, let's, they put me on antibiotics for the fluid that was in my stomach. I was on like 3 or 4 different kinds, and it was through my IV, and every so often come in there, hook me up, put it on. And I was bedridden due to having to have a catheter and things like that. They ended up taking the catheter out, and I was kind of starting to, feel a little bit better, but not all too great. And he said, okay, we're going to do another CAT scan to see if we got everything. So they did another CAT scan, and they didn't get everything. Or it came back, but there was this pouch of fluid in my pelvis bone. And he said, we're going to have to do a drain. So they had to put a drain in me, which is considered another surgery. But they do it through radiology, and I was actually awake for that surgery. They were going to give you something to ease the pain. I didn't feel it at all. Nothing. So I had to feel the wonderful pain of that. So altogether, I had all this drama, and I was in the hospital for about a week and a half. And finally, after having fevers and complications and all kind of stuff I'm not even going to go into, I finally got sent home, which I was so happy. I just wanted to be with my son and just be at the comfort of home and just not be in pain anymore. But I was sent home, and I was still in pain, but I was thinking, at least I'm not in that hospital. Being there just really messed with my head. Like, I just cried. I just wanted to just be around family. I was just alone. Everyone had their priorities and really couldn't be with me. And it's just really, really... But anyways, that's my birth experience, and kind of after what was going on, I missed some time with my son, so I missed about half a month with him, and he'll be a month old here in just a few days. But I just wanted to kind of share like how everything kind of started off, and kind of give you guys an idea and stuff. I know this video is probably not the most exciting video ever, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys background information, I guess, about what's been going on with me and my son. And I was planning on making so many videos and doing all this as soon as he was born, but that is not how it went. I got very, very sick, and it was just a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, having a newborn by myself. But I do plan on, trying to make videos every other day, or even maybe every day once I get on a routine with him. And I just want to say thank you for watching my videos, and I'm going to try to make them more interesting and get better cameras and upgrade stuff. But for now, I'm just trying to figure out how everything works, and just how everything works, I have never done this, so bear with me. And if you want to watch my videos, thanks. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I would love that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you watch more of my videos. He's not happy right now. My baby. My baby. Oh, the sun's in your face.